just some movies for you. And take some calls from a guest or two. So forget everything that you knew about the people in the movies, cause she has no clue. Kristy doesn't know movies. No, Kristy doesn't know movies. Kristy doesn't know movies.
Hey, welcome to a very special episode of Kristy Doesn't Know Movies. How are you doing?
I'm existing.
Okay. On what plane are you existing?
You'd like to know that, so I'm just not going to answer your question. I don't have to respond to you.
That's just rude. Right off the bat, you're rude.
Yeah.
We're like 30 seconds into the episode.
Yeah.
So rude.
You're welcome.
We're gonna be doing some teen comedies.
Okay.
By request, by your request. You wanted to do them for some reason.
Well, I just told you I hadn't seen like a lot of those classic teen movies that people watch as a teen. I was doing more important things. I was
Like
playing
what?
RPGs. I mean, Tales of Krystoria wasn't out at that point. If it had been,
my
I would have
God.
been playing that.
Get off that fucking game.
But I was playing other games like Tales of Vesperia, Tales of Xillia, Tales of Fantasia.
That's really starting to make me mad.
Okay, well. No, it'll help you relax
What?
if you play it.
Fuck off. Are you ready for a movie?
Yeah, I guess.
What do you, Kristy, think 1999's American Pie is about?
Wow, I thought it was much older than that. Alright.
How old did you think it was?
I don't know, I thought it was from like 95 or something. Like, I feel like I've seen memes or something and the quality of the filming doesn't look like it's 99. But also,
Okay.
I imagine it wasn't a high-budget movie. Like, ones for teens usually aren't, like, the best. They're just like, let's load it with jokes. And, like, people will watch it.
Okay.
Okay. So, it's a teen movie, so I imagine it revolves around some, like, jock dude.
Right.
99?
Yes.
Okay, Chris Evans, in his breakout role, he's playing a jock, like, as he does. Is this where the line, like, last year, or, like, one time at band camp, is that where, I think that's where that line came from? I'm not sure. So this is, like, the band camp movie. So I think it's, like, teenagers who are all, like, sent to summer camp. Like, they're all, like, 17, so they're like, Mom, I don't want to go to summer camp. I want to spend my summer just drinking with my friend. Like, they're either close to graduating high school or they already have, and they're sent to summer camp regardless.
Okay.
And so none of them really know each other, so now they have to, like, create new social groups. Ooh. And so it follows them basically whining about the fact that their parents paid for them to, like, fuck off all summer.
Okay.
And they also, like, get into shenanigans. Like, definitely there's, like, rivalries in the social groups, even though they barely know each other. And they definitely just, like attack each other with things they can get their hands on from there. Somebody definitely, like, puts a hole in the bottom of someone else's canoe so they sink. They probably do it to, like, the super, like, Valley Girls or something. The Valley Girls are probably the evil ones, and they just, like, I don't know, they pulled a prank, and then so someone else does a good prank on them, and they put a hole in the canoe, and the girls are like, no, my mascara will wash off. And it's just stupid thing. It's just a bunch of stupid fucking teenagers prank warring each other. And then a bunch of stupider teenagers watched it and they were like, no, it's like Jackass, but a prequel, because I don't think Jackass was a thing yet.
Who's in this movie?
Chris Evans,
Uh-huh.
Drew Barrymore plays
Okay.
one of the prissy girls in it.
The Valley Girls?
Yeah. She's like the leader of them. Chris Evans is the leader of the jocks. There's also a very young Seth Rogen. This was his first acting role. The guy from Friends, Chandler. He was
Who?
in it.
Chandler?
Yeah, he was like one of the
Why?
he was one of the jocks too. I don't know,
Matthew
like I
Perry?
feel like yeah, okay, is that who that is?
That's Matthew Perry.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like he was in I feel like if he wasn't in this, somebody with very similar hair.
So you have Chris Evans, Drew Barrymore, and Matthew Perry,
Yes.
and Seth Rogen, a young Seth Rogen.
He was like a kind of background role though, like yeah. He wasn't
Okay.
right in the spotlight.
Continue.
There definitely had to be a camp counselor who was like a bit older.
Uh-huh.
I want to say Jane Lynch played the camp counselor.
Alrighty.
Yeah, they had they had a decent cast, but nobody knew that those people's like careers would take off after.
So in your eyes, that's a decent cast?
Like, considering it was a teen movie, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that one?
I think it had a sequel, Wet Hot American Summer. Is that from the same series?
Oh my god. Alright, moving right along. What do you think 2000's Road Trip is about?
Road Trip is the one with not Tom Green, right?
Yes, with not Tom Green.
Okay. So, first of all, I know Tom Green's not in this movie. This is a
Which one
very
is he
important
in?
detail. He's in Euro Trip, which
Okay.
So I have seen Euro Trip specifically for Tom Green because he's like the saint of Canada. So I
Are you
don't
just gonna
know.
use Euro Trip as like a template for this one? Since you've seen it?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if it follows the same people. I think it might be the same people, but so in Euro Trip, the guy is like in college, right?
Uh-huh.
I think it's like his first year in college. So I think in Road Trip, the guy has just graduated high school. And he's like, I'm free to be an adult now and make my own decisions, Mom and Dad. So my first decision is that I'm going to go on a road trip. And his parents are like, you're a fucking idiot. There's no reason you should be going anywhere. You need to stay in your little hick town and think about what you've done.
What has he done?
The movie probably starts to him like masturbating or something, like ferociously in bed. Like I feel like a lot of those movies did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably just sitting there fucking peeling his carrot and then so then he's just like his parents walk in on him and that's when he tells them that he's gonna go on a road trip. He's probably going to like follow Girls Gone Wild or something. Like he's found out the filming routes and locations of where it's going to be filmed, and because what year was this movie?
2000.
Yeah, Girls Gone Wild was still like thriving in 2000. So he was a fan of the DVDs, so he decided he was going to follow them on their tour. And like
makes sense.
Yeah. So him and his buddy go and they use their like dirty gross car And like, so that's just foreshadowing right there. Their car is basically falling apart. It's like a nasty old 92 Jeep.
Okay.
Actually, 92 wouldn't be that old at that point. If this was 2000, okay?
That'd be 8
It will
years.
be an 85 Jeep. And so like it's falling apart, like everything's going wrong from the beginning. So you know that's gonna be a catalyst for like something to happen down the road, right? So
I see.
down the road trip, get it? Okay. So they go and like they're probably from buttfuck nowhere, and then so they decide they're gonna go somewhere like slightly fancier, like whatever the capital of Montana is. That's their first stop. Is Montana a city or a state?
I thought it was a restaurant.
Well, it is that too.
Oh.
I think it's a state. I feel like it's a state. Okay, so they go there and they're like, derp, 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 derp. We're gonna be some horny boys saying some really sexist things to girls to see them titties. And so that's what they do, and all the jokes are just like super over sexualizing like cheerleaders or something. They're in a strip club. Okay, they clearly have to go to the strip club, and they're like derp derp derp, we're little boys, and so they do that, like jokes, and then they go to like leave or something, and they've probably like pissed one of the girls off, and so she's like, fuck you and fuck your stupid fucking 85 Jeep, and she like rips the tailpipe off and starts like bashing in the windows with it. So they're like, oh, what are we gonna do? We're stuck at the strip club. And then, so they try to get it towed, and then the tow truck driver is basically Large Marge from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And
Who's in this movie?
the actors? This is a strange time to cut off my story and ask for that. Matthew Broderick is one of them. And Jake Gyllenhaal.
Didn't you say you think it's the same people from Eurotrip, which you've seen?
Yes, but I don't know who those actors were, and I feel like
which cut of Eurotrip did you watch? The one with Matthew Broderick and Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yes.
Have you seen this cut?
Shut up.
Okay.
Anyways.
Sorry to interrupt.
The only person who mattered in Eurotrip was Tom Green. Alright. Anyway, so they're stuck there, and then the tow truck driver is just like this creepy old dude, and it's just like, bleh! And they're like, bleh! And then so they like just get out, and then they just start like walking, trying to find like somewhere to rent a car. And then so they eventually find one, and they make it out of Montana. And then their next stop. Now, I'm not quite sure where Montana falls on a map. So I think it's in like the middle north-ish of the U.S. So then I think they go to Colorado, which I think is a different state than Montana, which could also possibly be a city. I know Colorado.
It's a restaurant for sure.
Shut up. They go there, right? Okay. At one point, they probably end up in a Denny's because they needed some product placement and some like brand affiliations. Weird shit definitely goes down in that Denny's. They probably get into a fight with like a biker gang, because I feel like every road trip movie needs a biker gang fight. Somebody like accidentally says something, and then it's like, whoa, you pissed off the bikers, now time to feel their wrath. So like they have to run from these bikers who then fuck up their rental car, and they're like, fuck man, Matthew Broderick's like, fuck man, I can't take this car back, and like my parents are gonna kill me. And Jake Gyllenhaal's like, don't worry man, like we got this, let's just go elsewhere, let's just dump the car, and then we'll get another rental car. So it's just a series of them dumping rental cars and getting a new one, because they keep getting into shit everywhere they go. And at the end, they finally catch up with the Girls Gone Wild people, and they see, like, it's just a montage of probably scenes from previous ones, because they don't think they had the budget to get enough girls to actually take their tops off. So they just use, like, old, actual Girls Gone Wild footage to simulate it.
Okay.
The girl who plays Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, she's in this movie. And Matthew Broderick, the main character, probably falls in love with her at some point in the movie. But then, then once the second movie, once Eurotrip kicks in, I think they break up at the beginning of that. So that's what sets him off on a course.
Eurotrip is one of Matthew Broderick's finer moments, I
Yeah.
think. Him and Tom Green are just so
Because
good
that's
in
so
that.
much chemistry as roommates. I don't really remember that movie.
For sure. All right. Our final movie of the episode. What do you think 2008's Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist is about?
Alright, this one's also like a road trip movie, but they don't leave the city, I think.
So how is it a road
I feel
trip?
like it's like a road trip through... They're probably supposed to be like in New York, but it was probably filmed in Toronto. So I'm just gonna say they're touring around Toronto. Like, that's not what the movie says, but like I says it because all these movies are filmed in Toronto and they won't admit that they're in Toronto and they need to. Anyways, so yeah, they're Nick is played by Michael Cera. I know that much.
Okay.
I think Norah is played by
Olivia Newton-John?
No, what the fuck is her name? I know her name. She was in Juno. She's in Umbrella Academy, which I'm currently fucking watching. Ellen Page?
There you go. She's in Trailer Park Boys too.
Yeah. So it's the two of them again. They were like, people were rooting for them to be like the Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter of like young people, and just have them constantly in movies together forever. But I think this might have been their last one where they actually were together in a movie. So she plays Norah. Norah is probably like, she's not gothy, but hipster, like an angry hipster who isn't just like, oh, I knew them before it was cool. She's like, you don't fucking know them? Like, what's your problem? Like, that's Norah. And then Nick is the same stuttering idiot that Michael Cera has always played. Doesn't have any other characters. He just, my name's Michael Cera. Can I see your boobs? Like, that's just what he does. And so it was another of those fucking roles for him. And it's like, it's a music music related movie. So he's probably, his friends are like, dude, Nick, you should go out because you've never had a girlfriend, you sit at home and you just like twiddle knobs to yourself, and you're like a DJ but a bedroom DJ, and you also never record or share any of your music. So you should go out, see some other music, get inspired, and then like actually show the world you're like knob twiddling. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess I can do it. And so they just fucking push him out the door and like leave him at a club. And then like Norah is probably at this bar like, this music sucks, it's indie, but it's not indie enough. Like, I can make out fucking notes, this sounds like a rhythm, why would you even want that? So she's just like at the back of the bar bitching. And then so like Michael Cera, Nick, had like, he's too nice to tell her to like fuck off, so he just sits there stuttering. He's like, oh yeah, I make noise music that doesn't make any sense. So would you want to like? And she's just like going on, like not even paying attention to what he says, and then like something probably happens like a fight breaks out, and she's like, ha ha ha, let's frolic to my van. And so then he like goes into her van, and she's like, I'm gonna play you a playlist and drive you to places and take you to places you've never been, because like nobody knows them but me, because I'm so fucking fabulous. And so he just like kind of sits in the back of her van. It's like a 1980s fucking Volkswagen van, and it's got like van art on the side, like a unicorn or something, but she's also probably spray painted like "fuck you" over top of it, or like "fuck the patriarchy." That's what it says. And so she's just like aggressively driving around with him, forcing him to listen to her music. Like, it's called Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, but it's just her music that she's thrusting upon this stuttering buffoon who
Hold on a
can't
sec.
say anything. What?
Did you say Michael Cera plays a noise musician?
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, so then, like, so yeah, she just drives him around to, like, all these places. So that's why it's a road trip movie, but they don't actually leave the city.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so she just, like, keeps showing him, like, all
So
this
she's got him
stuff.
held hostage playing her playlist.
Yeah.
All he wants to do is go home and fiddle some knobs and make noise.
Yeah. And then, like, at some point, she finally probably actually listens to him, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I make music too, and so, like, do you want to listen to my song?" And she's like, "Sweet, you're a musician. Like, I know a place where you can go, like, play and make art." So she takes him to, like, some abandoned warehouse where there's just, like, an amp and a drum kit, and then like a lot of like expensive equipment or something too. Like, there's absolutely no reason this place should exist that like anyone can come and use it, like, because it would be looted in 2 seconds, considering they say it's New York. Even in Toronto it would
Okay.
be looted in 2 seconds, but she's got this warehouse where it's just like this setup. She's like, if you're a real musician, play for me. And so he plays his he manages to make his noise music for her, and it's like all echoey and reverby in this like abandoned warehouse, and she's like, that's so fucking hot, like, I'm in love with you. And then so at the
Noise
end,
musicians are known for dropping panties.
yeah, hers, because she just like stupid shit that nobody's listened to. And he's like, I've never played for anyone before, and she's like, oh my god, I'm the first one to hear this music. And so like she's like ready to go, because like that's her thing. She wants to be the first to listen to a band. And
Okay.
yeah, so like she got her dream to come true. And so it's just like them noisily making out for like a few minutes, and then and then you definitely hear in the background like, "Oi, what's all this?" And so her ex-boyfriend like storms in the place, because like that's how they know each other. And then so he wants to fight Michael Cera for like taking his girlfriend, who he probably broke up
Okay.
with in the first place. And then so that's like the
Right.
tension, but they just run back to the van and drive off laughing. And then the next, it just shows Michael Cera waking up the next morning with like a note from her being like, I don't believe in cell phones or the internet, but like, meet me here tomorrow if you want to continue what we've got. And then the movie just ends. So it was leaving it up for like maybe they would meet up, and maybe there would be like more going on. They could have done like a second one, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist to Infinity and Beyond. Like, they could have done more. But they didn't
But
get
they
around
didn't.
to it because nobody liked the first. Well, stupid people liked the first one. I'm
God
sure there are a
bless
lot
him.
of like angsty little teenagers sitting there like, Michael Cera is the greatest. I love him as a musician and a person, and his personality is just fantastic.
And he's a noise musician.
Yeah, and he's the worst Canadian. Tom Green is such a better Canadian.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to this?
Every one of those movies could have been improved with Tales of Krystoria.
All I have to say is seek out and listen to some noise music. Give it a chance.
No.
Alrighty, thanks for listening, folks.
Bye.
Bye.